5. Wing snap. The give went this side to Harrison. Harrison gets met by a wall of Blue Devil defenders, and at best, no gain on the play at the 36-yard line.
A generous no-game spot right there, Todd. Nice job by the left side of the Blue Devils defense. Swarming to the ball. That's what you got to do. Tackle everybody. Hopefully one of them's got the ball.
Second down, 5 to go. Their own 36-yard line at right hash are the Rams, wearing the home maroon top to bottom. Gold numerals front and back, the interlocking SH above the number on the back. That Boston College yellow gold-esque helmet with the maroon face mask. And the handoff on second down and 5, snuffed out in the pile once again. This looked like Welton on the carry for no gain. They gave him half a yard.
Giving him
3rd and 4.
They moved the spot marker ever so slightly.
And they moved the ball up to the 37-yard line.
Generous yard right there, but tell you, big drive. Feels like this could be a game-turning drive right here for Shepherd Hill. They need to answer that quick strike offense put that quick touchdown up here to start the third quarter for the Blue Devils.
3rd down and 4 to go. Ball at their own 37 right hash. Hill the snap, look for the handoff. Defender there, and down he goes.
Is that Ossie?
No, it's 69. Tony Kendall. Right through the middle of the line and right into the back pocket of Luke Hill.
I tell you, he almost took the ball away from him right there, but definitely blew up his block on the offensive side and in the backfield quickly on that snap count.
Tony Kendall, 6'2", 265, and Bill Thomas, fleet of foot and way outsized Luke Hill on that one.
And outquicked him too, Todd. I tell you, you think the quickness of Hill, he could get away from him, but there's no getting away from Kendall on that play.
4th down and long, ball back across the 35 to the 34-yard line, and punt formation here for the Rams. Harrison stands at his own 24, goes angled punt right to left, across midfield and out of bounds on the near sideline at the Leominster 45-yard line. So it'll be Leominster 1st and 10. Their own 45 going left to right here in quarter number 3. 8:45 to play here in the third quarter. 25-14 Leominster's advantage.
Feels like this is where Leominster can really assert themselves here and take control of this ball game. That quick strike on that first possession. Get the Rams offense off the field, get the ball back in great field position. Have to see if the Blue Devils can capitalize. Second possession of the second half.
1st and 10 Leominster, their own 45 at right hash. Shotgun spread, 3 receivers in the formation. Lopez asks for the ball. Drops 5 steps, looks up the seam left. Pulled out of the air by Ricky Encarnacion. Taken to the ground, and it is ruled incomplete at the 20-yard line.
Big collision, though. Both players down on the field, Todd.
Looked like a catch and fumble, but you're right, Bill Thomas. Both went up for the football. Encarnacion had it in his grasp. Both landed hard, and neither getting up. Here comes Encarnacion, has now gotten up on his own power and is walking off, but very gingerly.
Yeah, both players went down hard, when not really able to protect themselves. And, I think the ground jarred the ball loose right there, but Encarnacion never had a chance to really make a football play. Good job by the defenders. Stay involved right there and turn that into an incomplete pass. Great effort by Encarnacion, though.
A collective hold-your-breath moment here. 8:35 to play here in the third quarter. 25-14. Leominster's advantage, and a Ram down on the field. The good news from our position, as they are immobilizing his head, is that he is moving his lower body.
Yeah, making sure he's got movement in his extremities. But yeah, I think he did take a hard hit to the back of the head the way he went down. But he is alert. It would appear he is moving, so that's always a good sign, Todd.
Tonight's broadcast of high school football and RFM audio is rebroadcast via our partners at 95.1 FM, WLPZ FM. Set your dial to 95.1 FM for a weekly encore presentation of tonight's complete broadcast, beginning each Saturday at noon. And while you're there, enjoy the great information, education, and entertainment for members of the community by members of the community on Leominster's owned and operated 95.1 FM, WLPZ. The great staff at WLPZ FM are always looking for new volunteers to expand their program offerings. For information on how you can get involved, visit WLPZ.org. And Bill Thomas, Jaden Mello was the defender downfield who got hooked up on that one, and he did walk off on his own power. 2nd and 10 back at the Leominster 45 at right hash. Shotgun spread. Lopez back to pass. Screen out complete in the right of the formation. It's Drinkwater across midfield. Tried to lose a defender crossing midfield. Taken down around the Ram 47-yard line.
Nice quick receiver screen right there. Get some positive yardage. Going to bring up 3rd and short.
At one point, Bill Thomas, it did feel like it got darker here
Yeah,
while they
light
were
went out.
I was going to say a bulb or something went out up here toward our broadcast position, right around the 50-yard line and at the top of the stands here at Carminati Field. 3rd down and short for Leominster. They need the Ram 45 for a first down. Give it to Braden Martin. Martin A-gap run, cross the 45 and upended across the 40 to the 39. It's a Leominster first down and the drive continues.
So I just realized something, Todd.
Yes.
With that carry, we didn't give out a hard-working player of the first half.
We did not.
And I'm giving it to Braden Martin.
All right.
He's got a lot of tough yards. He's been the yeoman, done the yeoman's work at running back tonight. Yeah, he doesn't have great stats. Done a great job 1st and 2nd down, helping to move the football. I think that's my vote right there.
On 1st and 10, Lopez out of the gun, back to pass, slides to his right end, throws, leaping catch made across the 15 and down at the 13-yard line. Brian Aguilar goes to the second floor and brings it down.
Gain of 30, Todd, right there. Doing some fast math. I tell you, Lopez is just on the same page with his receivers, leading them, knows right where they are. I mean, playing like a veteran.
It is a dynamic offense that Leominster is employing in 2022. 7:10 and counting to play here in the 3rd quarter. 25-14 Leominster's lead, and the Blue Devils looking to add as they drive from left to right. On 1st and 10 from the Ram 14. The snap, the roll, the throw, slant is caught, eluded defender to the goal line and in. It is a Leominster touchdown for Juan Miranda. Makes his first catch, 5'9", 160, the sophomore wide receiver, Miranda. The slant coming from the right, catching to the goal line in, and it's another 6 points for the blue and white.
And another weapon whose name we haven't called yet this season, but the Blue Devils keep finding them, and pays off right there, pay dirt, and expand that lead here in the 3rd quarter.
6:51 to play here in the 3rd. It's 31-14 Leominster's advantage. And Dan Thompson marks off the distance. Aguilar to hold, kicking into the open end of Carmignati Field. Ball down from Aguilar. Kick from Thompson is up. It is off the crossbar and no good. Back upfield come the team. 6:51 to play here in the 3rd quarter. 31-14 Leominster's advantage. And Bill Thomas, the futility tonight on special teams for point afters, one of the many reasons, and we'll talk about it, by the way, it's doubleheader week here on RFM. We've got Algonquin and Shrewsbury tomorrow. That's a 6 o'clock kickoff. 5 o'clock countdown to kickoff from Shrewsbury's campus tomorrow. We're looking forward to that one. Shrewsbury, Bill Thomas, under Coach John Aloisi, very rarely, if ever, kicks the point after. They always go for 2.
Yeah, I think they must have some, mathematical statistics that say, more often than not, you can get 2. You give up 1, but more often you can get 2. So that's the way to go. And we'll have to see if they employ that strategy tomorrow night.
And we'll have that action for you here on these same RFM platforms, YouTube, Facebook Live, and Twitch. And worst coming to worst, a local coat hanger in your front yard if the need be. Ball in the tee, 40-yard line at our left. Thompson sets his line. And now on the approach, Thompson swings the right leg hard, sends this one angled from right to left. There's a collision by a couple of the gunners on the way downfield, wiping each other out, but the return comes across the 25, stood up around the 27-yard line, and there will be no further return. Nice return on the play. Troy Fernandez on the return, gains 8.
Once again, though, Rams pinned back deep in their own territory. Kate mentioned their average start has been between the 30 and 40, and they're back inside the 30 again. And desperately searching for first downs here in the third quarter.
And there's no one big play that can sort it all out. So all Coach Dave Buchanan can do with his team is get them to incrementally move the ball down the field and score every time they touch the football for the remainder of the game. Hill, screen out to his right, in and out of the hands of Luke Welton, incomplete. They rule it a forward pass. It hit the ground, incomplete.
Close, and a lot of defenders out there too, and that play was about to go nowhere, and I think we were hearing some footsteps out there as the ball arrived. Probably a smart move to let that go through his fingers.
And so Hill will head back out on the field. 2nd and 10 for the Rams. Ball located at their own 28-yard line, middle of the field. And here they come. Double wing set. Aubin the fullback, 2 wings, 1 on either side. There may have been a flinch on the center. There was definitely a flinch by Tony Kendall in the neutral zone. But now the officials are going to get together and say who flinched first.
See if they don't get the offense on this one.
False start signaled against Shepherd Hill, so it'll be a 5-yard penalty. 2nd down and longer.
Somebody on the interior offensive line, give a little shimmy jiggle. Fortunately or unfortunately, they don't single out the players. At this level, probably a good thing.
They do when there's a PA mic. There's only one place you can get it, Crocker Field in Fitchburg.
Or Gillette.
Or I was going to say, or Gillette for the postseason. But nonetheless, coming to a field near you on 2nd and 15. Hill, the snap out of the double wing, rolls out to his right and throws. Pass is caught by Aubin, but immediately hit by Steve Diaz, playing up from that linebacker spot in pass coverage.
Nice job right there. Tight coverage. Led to a no gain on the play right there.
Hard roll out. Yeah, they gained back a little of what was lost on the penalty there, Bill Thomas. So they're back across the 25,
gain
27. Yeah, so it'll be 3rd and 11 coming up here. They need their own 36 for a first down, 37-ish for a first down. Moving from right to left. Deep back here in the double wing set. Hill the snap. Pitch it for Welton. Welton gets out to the left corner. Got a couple of blocks. Gets a few more blocks. And then just goes to the ground. I don't know whether he tripped or whether he just didn't see any other place to go, but there was a wall of white in front of him, a Bill Thomas picket fence, and down he went.
One thing he wasn't seeing was any help, so I think it was more of a survival mode at that point. You run back and forth 2 or 3 times, and you know the defense is coming. You might as well save that agony and just put yourself down right there. But loss of 4 brings up 4th down, and once again, Rams are in punt formation. The Blue Devils are going to get great field position once again.
Under 6 minutes to play here in the third. 31-14 Leominster's advantage. Miller. Check it. Harrison stands back at his own 15 to punt. Gets a good snap. Kick is away. Encarnacion fields it cleanly at the Leominster 45. Starts to spin across midfield. Gets to the Ram 49 and gets wrestled back to Leominster's side of midfield. He'll get his point of farthest progress. It'll be Leominster 1st down and 10 at the Shepherd Hill 49-yard line. Tonight's broadcast of high school football on RFM Audio, rebroadcast in its entirety via our partners at Tucka 56 Radio. Navigate your way to live365.com and bookmark Tucka 56 Radio for a weekly encore presentation of tonight's complete broadcast, beginning each Sunday at noon. Plus Wednesdays at 8 p.m., RFM's Coach's Corner with head coach Devin Gates. That's Tucka 56 Radio, TUCKA 56 Radio, and Tucka56Radio.com. 1st and 10, Leominster at the Ram 49. Xavier Cora gets the call. He takes it straight through the A gap, across the 45. Pack falls forward across the 40 to the 39, and it's a Leominster 1st down on the back of a great run by Xavier Cora.
Nice job right there, keeping his feet moving, but I'd be remiss not to mention Todd. Blue Devils starting out. Great field position on the 49-yard line on the Rams side of midfield and taking advantage of it once again.
Down to 5 minutes and counting left here in the third quarter. Shotgun spread, 3 receivers in the formation, 2 at the wide side left, and Lopez asks for the ball. Give it to Cora. Ran into his lead block, bounced off of him though, and still finds his way up the hash to advance the football to just about the 35-yard line. Gains maybe 4 on the play. Call it 2nd down and 6.
Nice job right there, though, getting some positive yards.
They nicked him 1 yard. They marked him down at the 36, and so it's a gain of 3, second down and 7.
But still, between Martin and Aguilar and Cora, good job there getting some first down yardage. Anything positive, and turn this into a 3rd and short, or finding a way to keep those chains moving.
4:14 and counting to play here in the 3rd. Lopez at the line, second down and 7. Ram 36-yard line right hash. Lopez the snap, give it to Cora. He takes it angle left this time. Round left end, works his way to the 35 and gets pushed back. Maybe gains a yard on the play.
Yeah, I know. Tough sledding over there on that left side, the right side of the Rams defense swarming, stringing that out nicely. And by the time Cora decided to turn that upfield, there was nowhere to go.
3:44 and counting to play here in the 3rd quarter. Play comes in from the sideline. Change. Dominic Swain heads to the sideline. Steve Diaz checks in, so some personnel adjustments. Play signaled in from Coach Devin Gates. And now here they come out of the huddle. And Leominster can slow things down here, Bill Thomas.
Take their
the
time.
clock is their friend.
My thoughts exactly. Watch for the 10-second, which we're getting now from the back judge, but good clock management by Lopez.
3rd and 7 from the 36. Trips to the right on the shotgun snap. Lopez adjusts, looks over the middle. Oh, comeback route for Steve Diaz, and he digs that one out. Coming back across the 20 and makes the catch at the 23-yard line. It gains 10, and it's a Leominster first down.
I tell you, nice job. I don't know if I've seen any quarterback work the middle like Lopez has here in this early season. A lot of confidence, but he's got the arm strength to work that middle, and he's very confident, and he's showing it.
Aguilar was a little surprised. He was the first receiver on the first level, and he watched that one go by him, and he went, hey, who's there? And there was Diaz coming back to the football over the middle.
Whistled right by him.
3 receivers set the trips to the wide side left. The shotgun snap. Lopez. Play action fake. Looks, finds Drinkwater. Cross the numbers and across the 15-yard line and down around the Shepherd Hill 10. Gains 12, and it's another Leominster first down. Clock stopped temporarily. Then it will restart once they set the chains. 2:15 and counting to play here in the 3rd quarter.
Right on the 10-yard line, Todd. It's going to bring up a 1st and goal. Tell you, the weapons and the way the offense is just spreading it out, and Lopez not focusing on any one receiver and mixing and matching behind him and keeping fresh legs behind him in the backfield. Great job by the freshman quarterback.
It's a luxury that you have to enjoy when you have it. Encarnacion is slotting the trips to the right. Shotgun snap, roll out Lopez, looks, end zone. Aguilar, the contested catch, he makes it, and he is in. He slipped underneath Jaden Mello's coverage, makes the catch, and turns it into the end zone for a Leominster touchdown. Lopez finds Aguilar for a 10-yard touchdown strike.
And the only way that becomes a touchdown is on Lopez's arm. Fired that on a string. No chance at all for the defender to make a move right by him and through his hands for the most part. And Aguilar was the recipient. Hauls it in for 6.
1:42 to play here in the 3rd quarter. 37-14 Leominster's advantage. Point after attempt coming up here. Snap the ball down. Thompson's kick is into the net. Split the uprights and back upfield come the teams. 1:42 to play here in the 3rd quarter. Leominster has increased their lead to 38-14 here in week 4 action. If you weren't with us off the top of the broadcast, Leominster has struggled in recent memory in this series. They've got 1 win in the last 5 meetings between these two programs. You got to go back to October 20th, 2018 for a 41-3 Leominster win at Doyle Field. Other than that, 3 meetings, by the way, have been right here at Carmagnati Field in the last 5. Shepherd Hill has commanded this series. A 35-6 win in 2019. In, of course, the COVID-modified season, spring of 2021, March 19th, a 14-13 Shepherd Hill win. And then October 1st of last year, in the fall season, 33-20, Shepherd Hill takes the win in the most recent meeting between these two teams. You go back to that October 11, 2019 meeting, 35-6 Shepherd Hill's win. That one was shortened by mercy rule in the rain here at Carmagnati Field and was played earlier because of the mosquito-borne illness. Who would have thought COVID was on deck after that?
Yeah, we've had some trials and tribulations the last 5 years, but I tell you, Blue Devils are getting their payback tonight.
Kickoff downfield. It is fielded by the Rams around their own 20, maybe advanced to their own 25. Short return on the play. They actually mark it across the 25 at the 27-yard line. So it'll be 1st and 10 Rams, their own 27-yard line. Kate Robbins has got your Leominster scoring summary.
I certainly do, gentlemen. If we take a look at that one, 4 minutes covering 49 yards. They had 3 first downs in that one. Capped, however, by that 10-yard reception. Osiris Lopez to Brian Aguilar. 295 yards passing for Leominster's offense thus far in this one through 3 quarters.
Wow, wow, wow. First down play. Hill double move. He had a receiver who had beat 2 defenders downfield, but the pass is long and incomplete. Bill Thomas, it looked like to my eye, trying to catch that number that just ran back. I thought it was Drew Aubin, maybe? Maybe 21?
When he comes out, he's going split right. Or actually tight end right, but see where he comes out. But yeah, just long, and Rams getting a little desperate here right now.
How about 295 yards passing for Leominster, and we're not even into the 4th quarter yet. The carry there for Harrison, who was the right wing back, turns the corner, cross the 30 to the 31. Gains maybe 4, 3rd down and 6.
Yeah, I tell you, great offensive showing. And after giving up that touchdown in that first play, come back to outscore the Rams 38-7 ever since.
Here they come to the line on 3rd down and 6 at their own 30-yard line. Snap, give this time was quickly snuffed out on the play. Mello on the carry for the Rams. Gains maybe 3 on the play, cross the 30 to the 33.
I'm not giving him anything. I pointed to the wrong number.
It's all right.
Maybe 1.
Bill Thomas, I'll follow anything you point
I'm
to.
trying to look and do. I'm trying to watch the sticks at the same time. Kate, I miss you.
4th down and 4 to go. Ball located at the Ram 33-yard line, middle of the field.
Desperation time right now for
and Coach
Shepherd
Buchanan
Hill.
says, we're going for it. Down 38-14, 10 seconds left in the 3rd. Hill, play action rollout. He waits for the clear out, steps up in the pocket. He starts to slide across the 35. He is down at the 37-yard line. And Bill Thomas, the officials say that's enough for a first down. But that
close.
Slide started maybe just a little too soon for Hill. I think he had lost what yard line he was across, but they did signal it as a first down.
They were officials weren't too sure right there, but yeah, they're going to give them the first down move.
They are sure the 3rd quarter is over, so the ball is up, 3 quarters complete here at Carmagnati Field, and Leominster has opened up their lead in the 2nd half. It's Leominster 38, Shepherd Hill 14 through 3 on homecoming here at Shepherd Hill tonight. Teams change ends, the all-important 4th and final quarter when we continue. Bill Thomas is going to hold that thought. I'm going to hand it back to Kate Robbins for any scores and 3rd quarter stats here at RFM HQ.
We can do 3rd quarter stats. I have not been able to check Twitter. You guys have been going fast and furious out there.
Indeed we are.
In Dudley. But if we take a look, as you said, Leominster with an impressive offensive showing here, particularly after they gave up that first touchdown to Shepherd Hill. Let's take a look at Lopez's individual stats. 14 of 22. He's completed 64% of his passes. Once again, 295 total yards of passing offense for Osiris Lopez. He's averaging 21.1 yards per pitch and catch. He's completed passes to 5 different receivers. Encarnacion has 3 receptions, Aguilar with 4, Drinkwater with 5 receptions for 125 yards receiving. Juan Miranda has a reception, and so does Steven Diaz. Todd.
All right, Kate, thank you so much. Teams change ends. 4th quarter begins on a 1st and 10 for the Rams at their own 37-yard line. Hill back to pass, running around, and he is sacked. Keegan Amarasinga in for the solo sack for Leominster. It's a loss of 4 on the play. 1:40 and counting to play here in the fourth quarter. Kate, I can pitch in on this one a little bit. Couple of scores out there that have gone final. St. Bernard's with a big win over Leicester tonight in division. 44-14 the final for the Bernardians to pick up the win. Also, Mike LeClaire reporting a final score at Monty Tech tonight. Bay Path defeats Monty Tech 43-36 the final in that one. Just the first of many scores you'll get. Most comprehensive post-game scoreboard. Kate amalgamates the internet and brings you the scores. Back to pass Hill. Diaz steps in, and it is pick 6 for Leominster. Steve Diaz steps in a passing lane, picks it, takes it down the numbers, and uncontested into the end zone, and the celebration ensues. Route is on, 11:02 to play in the fourth. It's 44-14 Leominster's advantage.
And Diaz was sitting on that play and stepped right in front of the intended receiver. Couldn't have timed it any better. Intercepted it on a dead run, and there was no looking back.
Steve Diaz has been having an incredible year and adds a pick 6 to his resume. And the clock has begun to run here in the fourth quarter as Leominster exceeded the 30-point margin. Ball is down, kick is up and into the net on the closed end of Carmignati Field as the teams come back up the field. Running time here on Carmignati turf. It's Leominster 45 and Shepherd Hill 14.
Pick 6 of about 23 yards right there, and we've seen this play before with the clock moving
in the other direction,
the other side of it. But I got to tell you, what an offensive explosion. I started to say, Todd, that third quarter, that offensive explosion has really got the wheels rolling here for the Blue Devils. I think was it 3 touchdowns in that third quarter, and really broke this game wide open.
An explosion is the way the year has gone thus far, Bill Thomas. Just when you're about to say something, something else happens. It's amazing. You've got to literally have your head on a swivel.
Trying to recap something prior, and all of a sudden something new's going on, and you don't know what to talk about.
We cover it all here on RFM Audio with our partners on Leominster TV, as well as 95.1 FM WLPZ. WLPZ.org, and Tucka 56 Radio and Tucka56radio.com. Great to have you along with us on another great Friday night of high school football, and this is just the first of 2 football games in Week 4 action. We've got Algonquin visiting Shrewsbury. Tomorrow night, that action will be available right here on these same RFM platforms of YouTube, Facebook Live, and Twitch, and will be replayed, by the way. Tucka 56 Radio will have the replay of Shrewsbury and Algonquin Monday at 8 p.m. for those of you that want to pick up a replay of that action tomorrow night. Return there by Troy Fernandez once again for Shepherd Hill. They'll have the football first and 10, their own 34-yard line. They're trying to find a football. Meanwhile, the clock just continues to run. Under 9 minutes to play. They're still looking for a ball.
They found one on the bench.
And I'll tell you, Coach Dave Buchanan's squad exploded for 41 points last week versus Fitchburg. This is a good Shepherd Hill team. They started off strong in the first quarter and then seemed to get a little stuck in their own mud.
Ran into a buzzsaw.
Flag is up. Back to pass Hill. Over the middle. Pass is caught. Encarnacion will make the hit on the play.
Flags at the line of scrimmage, Todd, on both sides.
Back at the original line. Billy, it looks like that's a zero on the, but we don't have a zero. Unfortunately, we do not. And he is
injured too,
slow to get up. Maybe we'll get a better look at the number here.
Got sandwiched in between 2 defenders there. Caught the ball on the fly.
So they will check on the player. Clock does stop for an injury, so we did find something that will stop the clock. 8:02 to play here in the fourth. 45-14 Leominster's advantage.
Play is up. Number 8.
Correction, Ethan Berry makes the catch. He was also the player slow to get up. The good news is he is up and walking off on his own power. And he will make his way to the sideline. Maybe just needed to catch his wind there as he went down hard at the end of the play.
And on top of it, he loses the catch on a legal procedure at the line of scrimmage, so all for naught.
And it looks like maybe a little tight quad or calf muscle they are working on here on the near sideline. The running time is running once again, under 8 minutes and counting here in the fourth. As we say, the clock will not stop for anything other than an injury.
Really no sense of urgency right now. Just both teams would like to get out of here with no injuries.
Exactly. Just make it through the next 8 minutes or so. There may have been a jump. Everyone holds their flags. The handoff went inside and gets stood up at the line. Move the ball maybe a half yard to about the 30. It'll be second down and long. Rams need their own 44-yard line for a reset and a first down. And Bill Thomas, what this is setting up is a huge game next Friday night as Leominster will travel to Peabody for the first time that we can prove one way or another. And you will have a battle of two 4-0 football teams if Peabody can hang on and beat Marblehead in what will be a huge Division II clash statewide.
And I don't believe they'll,
as Hill tries to keep the play alive, and he is sacked on the play. Yeah, 28 with the sack there, Bill Thomas.
Roman Cruz.
Yes. First time on the calendar.
Players getting some playing time. People that we might not normally call their name and number, we'll try to get them.
Getting some early varsity
get
experience.
As much recognition, but what were you saying, Todd? I was distracted there by that hit.
A battle of 4-0 teams set up next week.
Right.
Peabody and Leominster.
They can't complain that there aren't PowerPoints available.
Handoff inside from Hill. Hill went to Rodin on the play. Rodin slipped through the first hit and now gets stacked up at the line. And the officials letting this continue doesn't make a lot of sense. Jump all over that on the whistle, and let's just get everybody out of here healthy and without anything devolving in a mercy situation, 6 minutes and counting.
You don't need to be on the ground when to be stopped. But you're right, Todd. Plenty of PowerPoints available for both teams, win or lose next week.
Yes.
A close game will benefit both teams. Of course, you want to come out on the winning side, but yeah, no excuse for either team not having an opportunity to gain PowerPoints in their division.
We mentioned Peabody top 10 in Division II in the power ratings coming into this week on the first draft. Meanwhile, on fourth down and long, the punt, Encarnacion will field it at his own 29-yard line. Runs into the defense and then gets spun and taken down at the 31-yard line. And is it bad, Bill Thomas, when we get to this situation? This is maybe why I don't like this mercy situation. Players start playing and it becomes like a controlled scrimmage. The problem is when teams take their foot off the gas, that's when you become more likely for an injury to happen. All I see is extended knees and elbows and arms, and I just see more propensity for injury.
You know, the thing that could happen, and I'm not going to, lay blame, but not everybody's playing at full speed. And some kids might not get a lot of field time. They're going 150 miles an hour out there because they're trying to make a name for themselves or earn a spot. Other kids just want to get on the bus because they're tired. So, yeah, it does make for some odd circumstances.
Snap and the give went inside.
Trying to see, I didn't notice pre-snap who might be out there, Todd. Looks like
I think it was Braden Martin still with the run
like,
through the middle. Oh, no, Xavier Cora.
Cora, yeah. Actually, Christian, I think is that 5 or 6? Not five. Five.
Yeah, it was Xavier Cora.
Yep.
His number's been riding up all night, so the 5's been looking like a 6.
If I would pay more attention pre-snap, then that post-snap wouldn't be so confusing.
Got 2 on the play. It's second down and 8. Snap, give for Cora. Cora into the open space left of the formation. 35-40 and wrestled out of bounds at the 41-yard line. Maybe the 42. Clock still running even though the play goes out of bounds under 4 minutes to play here in the fourth. Mercy rule running time in effect. 45-14 is Leominster's lead. So we were talking about that matchup, Bill Thomas, and Peabody will go into next week. They started 8th in the power ratings in the first draft this week. The win over Marblehead likely helps boost that a little bit. So they will be a top 10 team. Leominster, who was 15th at 3-0, looking to again expand that number of their average margin of victory. They're not going to get any help, maybe a little help with their power rating points on their opponent rating for their strength of schedule, but they're going to need to continue to run the score up to continue to increase their average margin of victory. And again, one of the many reasons you could argue this is senseless. Also a note, by the way, on average margin of victory, it is capped at 14 points for any one game.
Yeah.
So even if you win by 25, 30, 40, 50, running up the score is only good Up to 14 points.
But you can't stop there because you don't want to give back a score. So
Correct.
I think 28 is where coaches are comfortable, and then they can throttle back and still play with that 14. But, yeah, you're right, Todd, but there'll be plenty of opponent power points on the line for both teams next week.
It'll be an exciting first trip to Peabody. That is for sure for this Leominster program and this broadcast as well.
But 23 on the carry that time,
Indeed,
I think, Todd.
first carry of the day for Aramis Reyes. He had a return earlier in the football game. Reyes, the sophomore, 5'9", 175.
Some different numbers out there right now. See,
Memi Elias will line up at wide receiver,
Dominic
7.
Swain is also
out there at the H-back.
Running back. And,
Juan Miranda, who had the touchdown catch earlier,
yeah.
will be set up with Memi Elias here. 2 receivers to the left of the formation toward the boundary here. 2:05 and counting here in the 4th. Lopez continues at the quarterback spot.
It's a good experience for him. One way or the other, work the clock, watch the officials. It's all learning. When you're a freshman at 14, every play is a learning experience.
Indeed it is. The snap. The give for Reyes. Reyes finds some room in the right of the formation. 45 midfield stacked up there. Gains a handful, 4, maybe 5 on the play, and it will bring up a 4th down and short. And we are 98 seconds before the clock ends this one. And now the back judge has launched a flag, and now the umpire has launched a flag. They might have flagged each other, is what may have been, because they're yelling at each other, and flags went up in either direction.
Somebody's using some language, I think, that they don't like. Let's see which way. It could have been a little
They continue to point fingers. After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct signaled against Leominster.
Yeah.
And it will be 4th down. So the flags will go against Leominster, which...
Flags don't stop the clock, though. So
they do not.
We're going to see one more play. I'm going to, well, unless Coach Gates decides to maybe call a timeout, and that could be the end of the game.
We talk about classy, Bill Thomas, and
He
of course,
won't do that.
Leominster's been on the wrong end of this before.
They have.
And so maybe perhaps, winning and winning the right way is the lesson that can be drawn out of this one as well.
Instead of letting the kids stand around out there, at least run one more play.
And so Leominster takes their time. We're under 40 seconds here, so you're under the play clock, but the spot came before 40, so Leominster's going to have to snap the ball at least one more time before closing out this 45-14 victory here at Shepherd Hill tonight. 5 seconds on the play clock. Lopez asks for the ball. Give it to Reyes. Reyes into the defense. Cross the 40-yard line to the 42, and that's all she wrote. Fans start to head toward the exit, and the final 5 ticks will come off the board. Leominster picks up their first win over Shepherd Hill since 2018 with a 45-14 victory on the road at Carmignati Field tonight. Leominster improves to 4-0 in 2022. Shepherd Hill will fall to 1-3. Bill Thomas, it was definitive. Leominster didn't score the first one tonight, but when they did start scoring, it was contagious.
Well, I have to tell you, Todd, I was happy to see some adversity thrown the Blue Devils' way in that first half, especially falling behind, quickly after that first play, that quick strike, and that really woke up players up. I'm sure the coaching staff didn't panic. If you're going to get shut out, it doesn't matter if the other team scores 1 touchdown or 10 touchdowns. You got to score on your own side when you get the ball, and the Blue Devils did that frequently tonight. After that first score, it found a way to outscore the Rams 45-7 the rest of the way after that opening play scored in the first 15 seconds of the game. So Blue Devils found a way to get that defense all on the same page against that mismatch applesauce offense. Saw them come out with that wide spread offense there, the Rams did, and I'm sure that the Blue Devils weren't really prepared for that, but I'm guessing they were prepared for pretty much anything, and they responded to that well. And I thought they, once that opening touchdown was erased from their memory, I thought they did a good job controlling the rest of the game.
Indeed, they did. Leominster, a 45-14 winner tonight here at Carmignati Field, sending the Shepherd Hill fans on a homecoming Friday night home with a loss. For those of you that have been joining us on Leominster TV, hey, we thank you so very much for joining us tonight. Same for those of you that have been joining us here on RFM Audio and being patient and sticking out the broadcast with us as we continued to fight through some adversity of our own on the broadcast end. But the great news is we were able to settle things down and bring you the great action here from Carmignati Field tonight. For those of you that are joining us on Leominster TV, we say thank you so very much for joining us here tonight. And it's time now for you to grab your smart-enabled device, open your favorite digital media app, and we've got so much more to come as we're just getting started here from Carmignati Field here on RFM Audio. Our post-game extra comes your way next. Kate's got the complete stats. We've got the most comprehensive scoreboard in Central Mass coming up post-game for your ride home from your game. Plus, we have got a performance from the marching bands here tonight. There'll be a post-game performance coming up. We'll dip into that. Get you prepared for our second game of the weekend. It's Shrewsbury hosting Algonquin coming up tomorrow night. We're here at Shepherd Hill right now, right? Algonquin travels to Shrewsbury. 6 o'clock to kick off tomorrow night. 5 o'clock is our countdown to kickoff for our second game of the weekend here on YouTube, Facebook Live, and Twitch. You're going to want to tune in for that as well. Replays available on Leominster TV throughout the week and weekend. We thank you so very much for joining us once again. Thank Bradley Bedard for being here as well. For Bill Thomas and Kate Robbins, I am Todd Robbins saying so long to those of you joining us on Leominster TV. Go grab those smart-enabled devices. Post-game extra next. Once again, the final score here from Carmignati Field. 45-14, Leominster's a winner. They improve to 4-0. Shepherd Hill falls to 1-3. Post-game extra next. This is high school football on RFM Audio.
How was your drive to school?
Let me tell you, I had to get my iced coffee first. I just can't seem to put it down. My favorite rapper just announced a tour. My phone was buzzing like crazy. I'm so excited. I had to text all my friends right then to talk about it. Then, someone started calling me and...
Let's try that again.
I turned my phone off right away. I never drive distracted.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
More than 270,000 students from nearly 370 MIAA member schools will participate in over 100,000 high school sports competitions this year. The Massachusetts Interscholastic Athletic Association encourages you to support your local high school athletic programs and the students who participate in them. The Massachusetts Interscholastic Athletic Association, building the future through educational athletics.
We are the NFHS. That stands for the National Federation of State High School Associations. But really, what we stand for, together with the MIAA, are the 227,000 high school sports students in Massachusetts. And so we stand. We stand for the runners, soccer and basketball players. We stand for their coaches, administrators, and officials. We stand for the swimmers, football players, and wrestlers. We stand for the golfers, softball, and volleyball players. We stand as the national leader and advocate for high school athletics and all who participate in them and make them possible. Because it is our purpose to ensure that high school students get to play, perform, and compete together. To learn more about who we are and what we stand for, visit nfhs.org.
The aims, the organization, and the policies of the MIAA are based on the philosophy that interscholastic activities, although a privilege and not a right, are important parts of the educational process. They should be encouraged, directed, and supported by a statewide organization. This organization's leaders should be representative of the state's schools and promote the further development of students' health and well-being. The Massachusetts Interscholastic Athletic Association urges your support of this philosophy through your attendance at all local and state events. The MIAA and all its member institutions thank you. The Massachusetts Interscholastic Athletic Association, building the future through educational athletics.
This is Bob Sosi, the voice of New England football, for the best high school football action in North Central Mass, featuring our award-winning broadcast team of Todd Robbins, Bill Thomas, and Kate Robbins. Keep it right here.
Back to Carmignati Field in Dudley. Post-game extra here on RFM Audio. Great to have you along with us. Todd Robbins, Bill Thomas, Kate Robbins back at RFM HQ. She is, as I said, amalgamating the internet. She's bringing all those post-game scores in from around the region. We'll have that comprehensive post-game scoreboard for you. Coming up, give you a picture of what's been going on elsewhere around the region tonight. Just because the game action's over doesn't mean the story has come to an end. We've got that post-game scoreboard coming up at the conclusion of our coverage tonight. We'll have a preview of Algonquin and Shrewsbury coming up. That's our action for tomorrow here on RFM Audio. Performance from the bands we'll dip into as well. Kate will recap it all as we continue here on RFM Audio with our post-game extra here from Carmignati Field tonight. Bill Thomas, give you the first crack at it, 45-14. I mean, it's just another night and another wow from this Leominster offense. Facing some adversity, battling back, and then just blowing up a football game.
Yeah, Todd, I mean, I think we're watching a team grow and mature before our eyes at an unbelievably fast pace. I don't want to say I'm glad that they faced some adversity tonight, but I think it was good that they had their backs against the wall.
Absolutely.
At least in that first quarter, it woke them up to that feeling of maybe in being invincible the first three games. And, you know, the 11 shutout quarters, that went by the wayside real quick. The first 15 seconds of the game, you can wipe that one right off the board.
It's a stat we don't have to talk about anymore.
They started another one. They pitched a shutout in the second half, I think, looking at the scoreboard. I think it was at 19-14 at the half. So found a way to really break the game open in that third quarter. They came out ready to play on both sides of the ball in that third quarter, put up 3 scores, and that was really the difference in the ball game, what happened during that 12 minutes of the third quarter.
Indeed it was, and it was an impressive start. We're going to kick it back to Kate Robbins here. Leominster's marching band setting up here at Carmignati Field, and then Shepherd Hill's marching band waiting in the wings for their opportunities. We'll dip into that in a moment, but first, let's pitch it back to RFM HQ. Kate Robbins standing by. Kate, let's take a look at the complete stat picture of this one, and I'll interrupt you when the bands are ready to go.
Oh, there we go. All right. So let's take a look at team totals first. Leominster, 426 total yards of offense tonight, 295 of those coming via the pass, 131 of them coming in their ground game. They had 53 plays on offense. They did have 2 turnovers on the night. With regard to Shepherd Hill's offensive production, 196 total yards of offense. Not surprisingly, their rushing yards outweigh their passing yards, 154 for rushing, 42 yards for passing. They had 41 plays on offense. They also had 2 turnovers as well. If we take a look at Shepherd Hill's notable individual statistics, they had a litany of people in the backfield that were rushing, but most of that rushing yardage, most of the 154 yards came on the backs of Josh Harrison, who had 8 rushes for 75 yards. And by Jaden Mello, he only had 3 carries, but he had 36 yards on his own. If we take a look at Luke Hill's evening, he was 5 of 9 passing. He completed 56% of his passes. His long was for 24 yards. He averaged 8.4 yards per pitch and catch with a total of 42 passing yards to 3 different receivers. Luke Walton had 2 receptions for 31 yards. Devin Roden had 2 receptions totaling 6 yards. And Drew Aubin had 1 reception for 5 yards. Shepherd Hill did have 2 touchdowns on the night. Both of them came in the first half. They had a 64-yard touchdown rush by Josh Harrison with 11:41 remaining in the first quarter. Extra point was good there. That put them on top of Leominster 7-0. It was the first time Leominster has trailed in a ball game this season. Then in the second quarter, 9:36 remaining in the half, there was a 24-yard touchdown reception by Luke Welton. Extra point good there as well. And that's how the Rams get their 14 points on the night. Now we're going to shift gears to Leominster's side of the ball. First, their rushing attack, which totaled 131 yards. Braden Martin had 12 carries for 61 yards. Xavier Cora had 9 rushes for 45 yards. And that was the vast majority of the rushing attack. Now, if we take a look at the passing, we know there was 295 total yards of passing and receiving offense. Osiris Lopez out of the backfield, he was 14 of 22. Passing 295 yards. He completed 64% of his passes. He averaged 21.1 yards per pitch and catch. His long was for 55. He completed passes to 5 different receivers on the night. Encarnacion, 3 receptions, totaling 80 yards. Aguilar, 4 receptions, totaling 65 yards. The freshman Drinkwater, 5 receptions, totaling 125 yards. His long was for 55 yards. Juan Miranda had a reception for 15 yards. Steven Diaz had the pick 6, 10-yard reception as well. If we take a look at the touchdowns for Leominster in the first quarter, they had 2 touchdowns, both courtesy of Caden Drinkwater, a 36-yard touchdown reception with 4:35 remaining in the first, and a 13-yard touchdown reception with 3 seconds remaining in the first. Because the first point after was no good, that put Leominster up 13-7 after 1. Go
Kate,
ahead, Todd.
stand by for me. Leominster High School's marching band. We'll dip into that, and then we'll get back to Kate's final stats. You're listening to RFM Audio Post-Game Extra here on Facebook, Live, YouTube, and Twitch. Todd Robbins, Bill Thomas, Kate Robbins, and you. You're listening to the Leominster High School Marching Band performing post-game here on RFM Audio. Leominster High School Marching Band performing post-game here tonight on RFM's post-game extra. Bill Thomas, I would never interrupt a xylophone solo, which came in the middle of that presentation.
Smiling. What a terrific ending to a fantastic ball game. But seeing these kids travel on the road and performing in front of an away crowd that stuck around here, a nice little crowd of family and friends. It's just great for these kids in the band. They usually don't get this kind of attention, but only at home. But it's nice to see an away crowd showing this kind of appreciation.
And better to stay here and do that than go sit in the traffic on the way out.
Well, I tell you, the people that are sitting down there could have hung around a little bit and really enjoyed this post-game performance. But you're right, Todd. They're missing a great ending to a fantastic football game. No matter what side of the football fandom you fell on tonight, the first half very competitive, but it's just a great end to a great night.
45-14, Leominster a win here tonight. We'll kick it back to Kate Robbins at RFM HQ. Kate, you can pick up and continue those post-game stats. We'll dip back in if the marching Rams step up for a performance.
All right, we're now in the second quarter with the Leominster touchdowns. We had the 43.
That's the kind of night it was, Kate, by the way. It was marathon-esque. We're now in the second
we did
quarter
the
of
first
excitement.
quarter. We're now in the second quarter. That's right. 4:06 remaining in the half. 23-yard touchdown reception by Ricky Encarnacion. Another extra point attempt fails for Leominster, so that gives them 19 points. Then, Todd, as you said, the third quarter was explosive for Leominster's offense. They had 3 touchdowns with 11:10 to go in the third. A 45-yard touchdown reception by Ricky Encarnacion. The 2-point conversion attempt was no good. That gives them their 25th point. With 6:53 remaining in the third quarter, a 15-yard touchdown reception by Juan Miranda, his first as a Blue Devil. Extra point also no good there. That gave Leominster their 31st point. Then with 1:42 remaining in the third quarter, the 10-yard touchdown reception by Brian Aguilar. Extra point there, good. Leominster with 38 points. And then we get to the fourth quarter, round things out with 11:28 remaining in the game. The 34-yard pick six by Steven Diaz. Extra point, good. Leominster with 45 points on the night. Once they got to 11:28, it was running time for the rest of the game. Once again, Leominster a victor tonight, 45-14 over Shepherd Hill out in Dudley. Todd?
All right, Kate, thank you so much. Great job back there with those final stats, even with the interruption for a fun performance out here tonight. It's time now to acknowledge the standout performances of the game as Kate, Bill, and I award our game balls to the student-athlete performances that changed the fortunes for their respective teams. Kate, you've been back looking at the numbers. Why don't you hand out the first game ball tonight?
Oh, this is a tough one tonight here, friends. You've gotta take a look at Osiris Lopez, 295 yards passing on the night. Long was for 55 yards. All of the touchdowns were receptions, so he was responsible for every single touchdown because he threw the pass for every single touchdown. So I'm going to go with Osiris Lopez because, wow, what a night.
No
at
question
me
about that.
already, Billy?
No,
I am smiling.
Billy is writing things down. It's like Billy plays Magic 8-Ball with your picks because he can literally read your mind. Like if you think
That's
you and
right.
I read each other's mind really well, Billy's literally can pick out your players of the game through the setup.
I'll tell you what I was smiling about, Kate. You started to say that the offense got spread around, so it was a tough decision. And as you were saying that, I'm writing down the words common denominator and writing a circle around it. And you circled back to the common denominator.
And
I did.
No question about that. Bill Thomas, how about you? Who gets your game ball tonight?
I'll make it short and sweet. Kate said about all there is. Osiris Lopez, common denominator tonight. He's been a star week in and week out. Just his maturity in pretty much every situation. We saw a couple of panic-like situations where decision-making could have maybe gone in a different direction. But the number of times he's made the right decision, those couple of panic decisions here and there, that's all part of the maturation process, as you like to say, Todd, the learning process. And I think that overall, he's just grown leaps and bounds, even from game 1 to game 4. It's got to be Osiris Lopez all the way for me tonight.
All right, I'm going to go to a slightly different place for my game ball tonight because I feel like he may have deserved a game ball last week and maybe got a little overlooked last week in the win against Neshoba. I'm going to go defense here, or maybe, you go offense, defense here with this one. Steve Diaz deserves a game ball tonight for his pick six to basically put the exclamation point on this win tonight for Leominster, but also that great comeback catch that he made. He just seems to find his way to the football in a moment that can be really important. He had a great comeback catch. Steve Diaz, my game ball for tonight for Leominster. Honorable mention, because he has, again, maybe got overlooked last week, Keegan Amarasinga, who was, again, on the defensive side of the ball. Sack of the quarterback, solo sack, had himself also a fumble recovery. This is somebody who, was going to be a role player on this team, has stepped into a major role as a starting linebacker for Leominster. So you know what? I'm going to split my game ball. One goes to Steve Diaz and one goes to Keegan Amarasinga.
And I think it would be remiss not to throw in an honorable mention to Ricky Encarnacion. Just, you talk about Mr. Excitement from becoming the team leader to showing it on the field as well, with the amount of effort he puts in, play in and play out, and just finding a way to make a difference. He's really become a difference maker, all by his individual effort. So, we can't keep mentioning these same kids week in and week out. We're finding other kids that are being pulled into this circle of a trust, so to speak, the way the offense has expanded through the first 4 weeks. And we were calling new numbers tonight, and but I got to circle around that common denominator. It all starts at the quarterback position. Great job by Osiris tonight, but the cast of characters are really full-on 100% supporting what he's doing.
Bill Thomas says we get set for the Shepherd Hill Band performance, which is the changeover is happening right now. Things that I'm already excited about. They have 2 baton performers as well, and flaring rifles. Anytime you can include rifles with a flare.
But those aren't batons, those are swords.
Okay.
Swords and rifles is what I'm seeing. See the handle on one side?
Oh, yeah.
It's a sword.
I was thinking it was some
kind of cavalry sword.
Yeah, you are correct.
Nice. I like
and this is all coming up.
It's a saber.
Thank you
One of the
very
Shepherd
much.
Hill moms. It's a saber.
Appreciate the addition there. So we'll get that performance coming up as well as we continue. Second game of our doubleheader this week. It's Shrewsbury and Algonquin coming up tomorrow. We'll have that action for you here on YouTube, Facebook Live, and Twitch. Looking forward to that action on the campus at Shrewsbury High School. And Bill Thomas, this is a huge Central Mass collision. A lot of implications here. Algonquin is in Division 2 with Leominster. Shrewsbury is in Division 1 with Wachusett, but this is one of those games where you're going to have 2 physical football teams. They're going to look to run the football, and they're going to look to keep each other off balance. If you look at the 2 on video, the amount of diversity, ways that they find to get in and out of various plays, but yet achieve the same philosophical thing, which is run the ball on the ground, is very impressive.
Yeah, I agree, Todd. And I think going back to last year, Algonquin struggled in the past. There's no doubt about it. They've had trouble at skill positions.
Turn the corner last year.
Turn the corner, go 6-2, and get snubbed from the playoffs. They got to be playing the players that came back. Got to have a chip on their shoulder. Right through the coaching staff, through to the 53rd man or whatever the last man on their roster. So I'm expecting a great effort. We know what you're going to get year in and year out from Shrewsbury. They always find a 2 or 3 year quarterback, and sometimes it's a younger brother. And
this is a little different.
So it'll be interesting to see what they bring to the field this year.
The thing that stood out to me in watching Shrewsbury on film is that they typically have been either an I formation power running team or a double wing team. They were in previous years. I would call them a multi-front team now. They multiply their formations in various ways to achieve the end goal of running the football, and they've got a great quarterback, TJ Welch, very impressive. Looking forward to seeing his performance tomorrow night. And then, of course, there is the ultimate, perhaps, evening factor, which is a little bit of the remnants of Hurricane Ian is going to get involved here as well. There'll be some early bands of rain that may or may not still be around for that 6 o'clock kickoff. So all of that to come, and we'll have that action for you here on RFM Audio. Coming up in our second game of our weekend doubleheader. We're going to send it back to Kate Robbins back at RFM HQ. She's in Studio P. And Kate, you've got the beginnings of the most comprehensive final scoreboard here in Central Mass. I'll kick it to you. We'll get that started when the Rams band begins. We'll dip into that, and then we'll come back to you to wrap it up.
All right, because I got to watch this episode of The Golden Girls, so we got to make this quick.
Thank you for
All
being a
right.
friend, Kate.
St. John's a victor tonight, 37-0 over Fitchburg. Neshoba, an overtime victor, 15-7 over Malden Catholic, your final there. Myasabet Valley Aztecs, a victor over the Nipmuc Warriors, 32-14, your final there.
Yeah.
Oxford, go ahead, Billy.
All right. So you sure you got that right, Kate? I'm going to double check that.
Nope, totally right. Oxford, a victor over Abbey Kelly, 53-16, your final there. Monty Tech loses to Bay Path, 43-36, your final there. St. Bernard's, a victor over Leicester, 44-14, your final out at Leicester. Worcester South routs Narragansett, 57-0, your final in that one. Tantasqua beats Doherty in a close one, 14-12, your final there. Quabog beats Worcester North, 36-6, your final there. Peabody, a victor tonight. We don't have a final score, but we know that they did win. Wachusett, 49-12, your final over Acton Boxborough out at Holden tonight. Grafton beats Marlborough in a close one tonight, 13-7, your final there. Oakmont over Latin Academy, 29-6, your final there. 21-7, Hudson over Maynard tonight is your final out at Hudson. West Boylston beats Clinton 42-7, your final there. Lunenburg on top. Actually, we have a final. Lunenburg beating Littleton 44-8, your final out at Lunenburg. Murdoch beats Quabbin 33-18. And, of course, Leominster beats Shepherd Hill 45-14 is your final there. And I didn't have to stop. That was the whole thing, Todd Robbins.
Kate, thank you so much. It appears that the marching Rams are getting closer and closer to perform here as we'll stretch just a little bit longer with the what's next. That's a great question. Kate, great job back at RFM HQ in Studio P tonight. Time for Patrick's 3 Bs. That's book, bottle, and bed. And I'll see you guys soon when I get home.
Have a great night, gentlemen.
All right. Thanks, Kate. Thank you so much. All right, Kate Robbins back at HQ doing a great job tonight. Final stats, scoreboard around the region, and get a big picture of where things are going here in Cross Central Mass tonight. So what's next? Well, RFM and our partners, we've got your listening and viewing options covered. Encore presentations of tonight's broadcast available all weekend long. Over the air Saturday at noon via our partners at WLPZ 95.1 FM. Streaming free via live365.com. Search WLPZ LP 95.1. Sunday's Encore also at noon, streaming via Tucka56radio.com on Live 365. Search Tucka56 Radio. That's TUCKA 56 Radio and Tucka56radio.com. Leominster TV's got your game replays throughout the week. And then there's the Coach's Corner, which begins your week each and every Monday. The Coach's Corner with Devin Gates, an all-new episode Monday on these same RFM platforms, YouTube, Facebook Live, and Twitch. Wednesdays at 8 p.m. on Tucka 56 Radio, and Thursdays at 5 p.m. on WLPZ 95.1 FM. Check your local listings for times and availability. With that, Week 5 action, Leominster on the road. We alluded to it. An undefeated Leominster travels to an undefeated Peabody. 7 o'clock is the kickoff. Head out early if you're getting on the road going in the direction of Peabody. Traffic, and more traffic. But Leominster travels to Peabody Friday night, October the 7th, 7 o'clock kickoff, 6:30 our countdown to kickoff. These same RFM platforms, YouTube, Facebook Live, and Twitch. Our partners at Leominster TV join us at 6:30 for our countdown to kickoff of Leominster and Peabody, a battle of unbeaten Division II teams. With that, we dip into the marching Rams of Shepherd Hill performing postgame here at Carmignati Field.
phrase how I feel. Have you ever heard two turtle doves, Bill and Coo, when they love? That's the kind of magic music we make with our lips when we kiss. And there's a weepy old willow. He really knows how to cry. That's how I cry in my pillow. If you should tell me farewell and goodbye. Lullaby, bird, whisper low, kiss me sweet, kiss me sweet. We'll go flying high above us, high in the sky up above, all because we're in love.
And that is the Marching Rams of Shepherd Hill with their post-game performance and a kind ovation for each other. Again, great support between these two communities for one another's marching band. We thank you so very much for being a part of our coverage here of homecoming at Shepherd Hill tonight, and a fantastic football night and all of the associated pieces that went along with it. Again, next week, it's Leominster at Peabody. Got that action for you Friday night, October the 7th, 7 o'clock the kickoff. Countdown to kickoff right here on these same platforms at 6, Leominster TV at 6:30. We're looking forward to having all that action for you and what will be a battle of two 4-0 football teams. For Bill Thomas, Bradley Bedard, Kate Robbins back at RFM HQ. I am Todd Robbins saying thank you so very much for joining us. And until the Coach's Corner on Monday night on these very same platforms, we say so long, everybody.
Tradition, legacy, history. These words all describe a player, coach, or contributor's impact on a game, program, or generation. Each week this season, student athletes of this generation will square off with the goal of best representing their community today or for years to come.
Neil O'Connor finds Jake Elaine.
For Alan Glennie, quarterbacks his ball club.
Salakiai's in the end zone.
And calling signals, Dave Palazzi.
John Ulecki.
Warren Muir.
LeQueer.
Jack Rodequins.
Bobby Mativier.
Jason Toomley.
Devin Gates.
Quentin Tiggs.
Cortez Ludden.
D. Geronimo.
Stephanides.
Sean Dupuis. McDonald.
Graham.
Quentin Perkins. Geraldo Rivera.
Gray makes the catch in the end zone for the touchdown.
Who will have their name weaved among the tapestry of legends? Who can add their name among the football greatest in Central Massachusetts? You'll find out right here on RFM, continuing a legacy and tradition of audio excellence established by generations of great play-by-play teams gone before.
Yours truly, Tom Connery, Dave Spence, and Warren Muir.
This is Joe White. With me this morning is Dickey and Ron Lamont. Ed Coleman along with Joe DeCarolis and Mark Landon.
This is Dave Clark along with Mike Flynn.
I'm Dave Spence along with my partner Luke Connery.
Todd Robbins alongside Ben Parker.
Todd Robbins, Bill Thomas, Kate Robbins, and you. Great to have you along with us.
Stories told through the words spun by legends. The stories continue to be described by the award-winning team of today. It's time for high school football with the award-winning team of Todd Robbins, Bill Thomas, and Kate Robbins.